All right, gentlemen, so what I am aiming to do right now is just talk you through how to get on with your paragraph, just do a gentle recap and everything like that. So if you feel confident to just look at the ones that are here and work through it by yourself, then you can go forth and do that. But if you think that you need a little bit more guidance through writing a paragraph, then you can listen and watch and follow through and do this whole thing. All right, so this is writing a paragraph using your evidence from yesterday. So this is the work here that you should have done yesterday. So this first one's done for you, and that's the one that I'm going to be using for this paragraph. There is that one there where you need to identify the technique, which is pretty easy, and think about what it shows. And then the end one there as well. So you need those ones to be able to do this. You need at least one of those done. Okay, so to go through, just to recap what goes in a body paragraph, you have a point, which is where you state the focus or the scene for that paragraph. Then you give an example or evidence, which in this case is going to be a film technique. So that's why it's handy to have the work done from yesterday. Then you're going to explain what that film technique shows and how it shows it. So what that evidence shows and how it shows that evidence. And then you're going to link to the director, their purpose, what they were trying to make you think and feel. And then you're just going to give a little bit of personal response about what that makes you think about, if you connect it to something in the real world or connect it to yourself and give some personal opinion. So those are the main parts of the paragraph. I've done one below and I've colour matched them there. So you can see them and I'll talk through that one shortly. So the next thing to look at is the essay topic. So there are two parts, which I've just put in yellow and blue, kind of to match that you'd describe and explain there. And I've underlined the keywords. The keywords are what you put in every paragraph. And if you look through my paragraph that I've written, you'll see them come up lots. All right, so that means that if you don't have them, you're probably not addressing the topic. And that's something that your marker is going to look for. So you're going to write an essay and you're also going to write one in your exam. So it's important to be able to figure out keywords. Keywords are, if you read through the the two sentences, what are you being asked to do or talk about? That's your keywords, that's your essay focus. So I've done an introduction here. Before I go through it, it might be worth trying to remember what goes in introduction. If you can remember anything off the top of your head, that's really good. So I'll read through it and then hopefully you can see what goes in it and I'll very quickly talk about that. So in the film Remember the Titans, directed by Boaz Yakin, we follow the story of an American football team in 1971 in Virginia as they try and integrate a white and black school and deal with racial difficulties. A significant relationship in the text is between the black player Julius and his white captain Gerry. Initially, their relationship is tense, but over time they accept each other and become great friends. This significant relationship helps us understand both Julius and Gerry's character. Three scenes to show their relationship is on the bus, when Julius visits Gerry, and in the hospital. So if you can remember what goes in introduction, now might be the time to have a think about what they are, and I'm just about to talk you through them. So you've got your text type, which is a film or a visual text. You avoid calling it a movie simply because that is a little bit informal. Then you've got your your film title. Then you've got who directed it. Okay, if we were doing a novel or a short story, we would talk about the author, but it's our director here. Then I've got the sentence here, which just describes the plot. So that's just one sentence to describe what the plot's about. Then I've got a statement, which links to my essay topic keywords up here. So I've got a significant relationship, and I've stated who that is. What I've gone and done is describe their relationship briefly in a sentence. That's quite handy. You don't need that, but it can be good. And I've made sure that I link it to the second part of the question there as well. So if you didn't see that that was the essay question up here, you'd probably be able to guess what the essay is about just because they use the keywords and the clear statement there. So ultimately, any marker should be able to figure out what your essay is based on your use of keywords. Then I have just listed these here. So what I've done is so that they help understand both characters, just because if you're writing this as an essay, you will pick which character you want to talk about. So I'm not going to restrict that for you guys. So then what I've done is gone through and written a body paragraph, and I've got it in color coordination to match. What you'll see is that some of the sentences have bold in them. That's just to help you when you move on to your own paragraph, to make sure that you have kind of covered those aspects yourself, and it can give you a little bit of a help. So as you can see there, if you're stuck, you can use the same ones. Cool. So the first bit's my yellow, which you'll actually see is 2 sentences. I've got a extra sentence here, where I describe the scene, which you don't need, but if you're looking at getting more like a merit, it can help add a little bit more clarity to your essay paragraphs. So the first scene that helps to show Gerry, and Julius's significant relationship is the bus scene. This helps us understand Gerry's character. So I've chosen to focus on how it shows Gerry's character rather than Julius, but you could pick either. And then I've described it. During this scene, the 2 characters sit next to each other on the bus on the way to Gettysburg Camp. They do not know each other, and their relationship is tense. So if I think about describing the relationship, I've described where we see it, what's happening, and how it is. I've got all that covered there. So I'm doing pretty well. And then a film technique. So I've literally just gone into here and taken that one there. I could do that one, but I've just chosen that one because it was easier for me. So you can just pick one. A film technique from the film that helps to show Gerry and Julius's relationship is a mid-shot of the 2 characters sitting next to each other on the bus. We can see Julius looking upset and Gerry looking outside of the window. So I've made it really clear what's in that shot. What you don't want to do is just say we see a mid-shot. That's not going to help clarify what's going on. You want to make sure you've got a detailed bit of technique work there. So you want to say exactly what's in the shot, or if you're picking dialogue, you want to call it dialogue. Give the quote, say who said it, when they said it. If you're picking through soundtrack, you want to take in your description like that as well. So you want to make sure you've described it really clearly. This technique helps us to see their relationship is bad because they both look uncomfortable and they're not enjoying spending time with one another. So I've explained that the evidence shows their relationship, and then I need to make sure that I've explained how it shows a character. So that's the second part of the question. So I need to make sure I've done that. And that's what I'm doing here. This helps us understand Gerry's character best because we can see he really does not enjoy being near a black person because he is not used to it. And at this point in the film, he harbors racist views. That would be fine, but I've got an extra sentence further so I can make sure it's detailed, so it's more like a merit. He is trying to get far away physically, which should be physically far away, from Julius, showing their relationship is not close, and Gerry despises him just because he is black. So I talked about how it shows me Gerry's character here, and I've done it here, and I've also talked about how it shows their relationship as well. And then director's purpose. The director's purpose is to show how at this stage things are not great between the 2 players. And I could leave it there, but I'm always going to try add details. That's what makes this paragraph a merit, a really sort of solid M6, rather than sitting more at a basic achieve, just because I've really got to both parts and I've really explained both parts. So yeah, this is what happens when you're prejudiced and do not get to know someone and make assumptions like Gerry does. This shows us anyone can change because a couple of scenes later at camp, Gerry starts to accept Julius. This scene makes me feel sad for both Gerry and Julius because it must be hard to be Julius and feel hated for something out of your control. It also makes me sad for Gerry because he has been raised to have racist and hateful attitudes just because he does not know better, which shows us how bad society can be. So that helps to show my personal views and my personal response, which is going to get me a better grade. So what you want to do now is try write your own paragraph. So you can pick that one or that one. Or if you wanted to, you could go back and watch the left side, strong side, or you could go and talk about them when they're at the water fountain. He talks about like how attitude reflect leadership, captain. That would work well too. If you get stuck on how to structure your paragraph, just take these sentences in bold and use those. They're going to help you structure your paragraph. When you finish, what you want to do is go through and highlight them and just check that you have got all the parts. The longest part of your paragraph should be your blue or your blue and your pink combined. So your explanation and your link. That's going to get you the best grades. is how well you explain your evidence, because explanation shows your understanding of your ideas. You need to have both of these parts too, but that's going to really determine your grade. And then I've given some extension options if you feel like you've got a little bit of extra time in the lesson, or you want to challenge yourself, or you just want to improve a little bit. Ultimately, writing a paragraph using those sentence starters, if you already have the notes from here, should take you maybe 15 to 20 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, because you haven't done it in a while. So you should have some time. If you feel up for it, give one of the extension ones a try. If you've got any questions, come over to Teams and ask. Otherwise, hopefully that's all relatively straightforward. Merry essay writing.